All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the E Club of North Texas. Welcome to all our guests and those watching. Can we get someone to do the pledges of allegiance?
I will.
All right, thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the
To the
flag
flag
of the
of the
United
United
States
States
of America,
and to the
and to the
republic
republic for
for
which
which
it
it stands,
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty
and
and
justice for
justice
all.
for all.
I don't know what you've done with the.
Thank you very much for that one. The invocation. Can we get someone to read that one?
Why don't I can't see it on my screen? Why don't you read it, Jennifer?
Okay. See if I can see it all here. Okay. As we gather here today as members of Rotary, we pray that we are ever mindful of opportunities to render our service to fellow citizens and to our community, keeping in mind always the enduring values of life, exerting our efforts in those areas and those things sorry, I couldn't see that word on my screen, with future generations can build with confidence. Let us continue to strive to make it a better world.
So the next one, our vision statement. I'll read it. So together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe in our communities and ourselves. All right. So for the month of October, we're still staying on the economic and community development for Rotary. That's a thing for us. So do anybody have any funds or any donations that they did this month for any of these service projects?
Uh, the only thing we went to the zoo for and so I think they raised close to $70,000.
Mhm.
And of course we had donated $1,000 to Envision. And Susanna, Envision is for the blind and visually impaired. And
Okay.
they have a place here and they do all sorts of
I saw Jennifer there.
yeah, there's Jennifer's there, and anyway, they do all sorts of things that I can't do. You know, they're blind. And we go out for their bingo games once a month. Their arts classes where they do ceramics and other art things, and so we support them. And Jennifer's husband had been there,
Mhm.
and so anyway, that was a big thing we did. I guess
Nice.
a week ago. Um,
It was fun.
yeah, it was. And we got to see some other people we knew from the Envision, and it was a good time. And then the next thing that's coming up is on the 21st of November, which our club is going to be sponsoring the food for the bingo. So it'll be from 4 to 6. And if anybody can come out, we would appreciate it. So that's all that I know about. So
So also this month we did the Halloween deal we do every year with this Boys and Girls Club in Grand Prairie. Me and Miss Luna, Mr. David was there. We gave out candy and some little Halloween knickknacks for the kiddos there. So it was a pretty good time. As far as donation wise, I donated a little bit more towards that as well. Um, I can't think of what else I did. That's a lot of stuff I did throughout the month, but we
and
want
I
to
still can't find that 350 pieces of candy.
finish.
It disappeared from my front door to the car.
So we know who stashed it.
You can-
All
Uh,
right.
okay, I have a question. Do you have right now? My screen is really large and I don't see everything. And I was just wondering if
I'm not allowed to touch
if
it.
we can, there. Even though I have it 100%, we don't see everything.
But you don't want that.
Okay, so we have it on announcements at the moment, so we don't have anything.
Okay, you see, I don't see all the, it just goes up to the M and that's it. So,
You might have it zoomed in. You gotta zoom it out.
Bang, past it.
okay.
So do we have any other announcements? All right, let's keep it going. So, a little bit. So, Mr. Howard, would you like to introduce our guest?
Yes. Okay. Let me find her. Susanna Martinez is the president of PEO for the CEO, an independent PEO brokerage that helps small and mid sized businesses scale efficiently by streamlining HR, payroll, employee benefits, and compliance. With over 2 decades of industry experience, she specializes in guiding companies through rapid growth using cost effective PEO partnerships, allowing them to focus on strategy while offloading administrative burdens. She empowers business owners to scale to the next level with confidence. So, Susanna, most of the speakers go 20, 30 minutes. And
Okay.
you can use PowerPoint if you want. And I recommend everyone mute their mics when she's speaking unless she asks a question, because it can make noises from dogs and stuff in the background.
Okay. Excellent. Well, thank you for that introduction. I liked that picture of the climbing and ups and downs, and that's how, all businesses seem to go a couple few steps forward and a few steps backwards. So I have been part of Rotary many years ago. I was in a club in Denver, Colorado. So I really believe in Rotary, and I'm glad to see how you guys have a Rotary Club via Zoom. This is absolutely wonderful. But just to show of hands, I was just wondering here with my audience, how many people are either business owners or have had a business in the past or ran businesses in the past? Okay.
I'm retired. We're retired.
But you guys did in the past,
I
right?
used to, yes.
Okay.
It's been many years ago.
Okay. So I just kind of wanted to know a little bit about my audience. So excellent. Well, thank you guys for having me part of your program tonight. I am going to share a slideshow. So I'm going to pull it up here in a minute. There's my dog. Can you guys see my dog?
Oh,
Okay. So now I got my presentation. So now you guys can see my presentation.
yes.
Excellent. So PEO for the CEO. So basically, I help companies. They're advocate to help fight maximize their benefits without overpaying in PEO fees. How many people know what a PEO is? Anybody? Never heard of it? Okay. So it stands for Professional Employer Organization. And essentially, what it does is it pulls several thousand of co employees together into a large group to get buying power and economies of scale on health insurance, workers' comp insurance, employee benefits, all employee benefits, and retirement services as well by pooling small groups into a very large 40,000, thousands of employees. It just gets the buying power and economies of scale. At the same time, it becomes a co-employment relationship, so it helps employers grow and scale by helping them with their back-end HR infrastructure, compliance, and payroll. So this is a study that NAPIO, the National Association of PEOs, basically says how a PEO can help a company. They say that if you're with a PEO company, you can grow 7 to 9% faster than others that are not. And businesses that are utilizing a PEO have 10 to 14% less turnover. And I would just say 80% of the businesses I talk to, the reason why they're having conversations with me is because they want to save that 39% premiums on benefits. It can be anywhere between 20 to 40% savings on employee benefits. And with health insurance premiums going up every year in every market, deductibles are going up. Business owners are constantly looking for different ways to save money on employee benefits without reducing the benefits to their employees. So this also helps companies grow two times faster than companies that are not with a PEO. And why is that? It's because if most of the time nowadays, I have companies that might be headquartered in one state and then have employees in multiple other states. And every single state has different complexities, different compliance. And if you have any employees, New York, New Jersey, Colorado, California, those are very highly regulated states, and it can just take a lot of time, administrative burden for employers. They say that the in the Silicon Valley, the top unicorn companies are typically partnering with a PEO company because they know that they're going to grow 2 times faster than those that are not. They just know. And I am not a PEO company. I'm a PEO broker. Believe it or not, there's like 700 plus PEO companies out there. So it's very difficult oftentimes when a company is either looking at switching PEOs or looking at trying to implement a new PEO. I can help them shop the market exclusively at no cost to them, just like an independent insurance broker would shop the market for different insurance carriers. That's what I do for different PEO companies. Also, what it does is it helps manage the whole employee life cycle, your human capital management from hire to retire. It consolidates several systems, several technology systems, several people into one single source solution. When you're looking at hiring employees, onboarding employees, the benefit enrollment of the employees, collecting the time and attendance for your employees, actually processing payroll, any learning system management tools, any performance reviews, anything like that, it's all going to be housed in a one single source solution. So it just makes it very efficient for companies to have everything in one system, one company versus having multiple different vendors that they have to work with. How do I know if a PEO is the right fit for me? This is what companies ask all the time. If you basically want $1 million employee without $1 million salary, this a PEO could be right for you. So basically it you will most of the companies will actually get a dedicated HR, a SHRM HR professional that's dedicated to your company to help them strategize anything proactive or reactive when it comes to HR benefits. It definitely will help as far as turnover, automate a lot of the processes. Like I said, the majority of the time, most companies, the initial conversation is because they want to save money on health insurance, medical premiums, or even workers' comp premiums. A company that really wants better technology, better service, and they really have plans on growing or scaling. Perhaps they got funding, or perhaps they're going to be expanding in multiple states and they're getting ready to hire. It's going to be a plug and play, really easy as a company's really hiring rapidly. So it's a plug and play in system. The PEO is going to set up the state unemployment depending on wherever you find the talent, set up the workers' comp depending on whatever classification code that employee it falls in that particular state. So the savings, as I mentioned, this is typically the reason why most companies will want to work with a PEO or change a PEO company. This was a cybersecurity company that provides service for the U.S. Army. They had about 88 employees, and we saved them over $108,000 on their benefits premiums without losing any benefits. So their employees were able to get the similar type plans, similar deductibles, similar out of pocket maximums, and the premiums were a lot less. So that was about $1,233 per employee annually. I don't know about you, but that's some good cash I could definitely use towards my business. This is what I do for my clients when I'm doing the side by side. I go into more detail, but this will give you a pretty high level summary of what I'm doing. This was a case study based on a 55 employee technology company. We look at their total premiums current based upon what the medical premiums would be with the other PEO partners. And each PEO company will partner with different insurance carriers. And I typically have different spreadsheets that'll really outline the different benefits that the employees are participating in. We have to factor in any upcoming renewal. This particular company was getting ready to renew their benefits, so we had to factor that in. And then administrative fees. What are the administrative fees that they're paying currently? And what are the administrative fees compared to the other PEO fees? We also we unbundle the workers' comp premium so we know exactly what they're paying towards workers' comp. And it's kind of all over the place. As you can see here, anywhere between 7,000, 9,000, 15,000. And then we grand total it all up, you know, and it was anywhere between 33,000, 26,000 to $108,000 savings for this particular company. So we're taking a look at the medical premiums, the administrative fees, the workers' comp to get an overall summary of if it financially makes sense to the company to make a switch. This particular company was with the PEO currently. They were with ADP Total Source. I'm sure everybody's heard of ADP. ADP has a very large PEO company within the ADP called ADP Total Source. Actually, this next company was with ADP Total Source as well. They were a 14 employee company machine shop. And that was their total premiums for medical insurance, administrative fees. And ADP actually includes their workers' comp and their administrative fees in one bundle. So the other companies I work with typically unbundle it. So we know exactly what you're paying towards administrative fees and then what you're paying towards workers' comp fees. Some companies had a setup fee. So this particular small company, I mean, for 14 employees, they saved anywhere between $37,000 to $116,000 savings. Pretty significant. And they ended up going with Aspen HR at 49,000 because it wasn't just they wanted savings, but they wanted a really high touch service company that's going to respond to them, really not a call center. And so that's why they had selected Aspen HR. They've been with them for like three years and been really happy with them thus far. I always stay in really close to my clients, make sure that the PEO is promising and delivering the service that they promised that they were going to. That was the case studies that I pretty much had. Thought I would talk about like industries, like what are some really good industries that's a good fit for a PEO. In the white collar space, we're looking at companies that really want to consolidate their vendors. They're looking to have automated processes. They really, want to increase their talent acquisition, that they're really wanting to hire top talent. They're wanting to optimize their HR infrastructure. They want to reduce their turnover. They want to offer Fortune 500 benefits, or perhaps they're already offering Fortune 500 benefits. They just want to be able to lower their overall health insurance premiums and then just contain costs in general. Those white collar companies can be anywhere professional services, nonprofits, anything like that, aerospace, engineering, skilled trades, things like that are really all across the board when it comes to different types of industries that we work with. I typically find a lot of the white collar companies are already offering really good medical insurance and they're just looking for ways to try to save money. The next line of industries would be more of your blue collar type companies. These are companies that probably have a higher workers' comp premium. Your roofers, your tree trimmers, your staffing companies. These are industries that are really hard to place with workers' comp, or if they do get a workers' comp premium, it's very expensive. So being in a PEO can help save them money, give them multi-state coverages, reduce their EMOD. If anybody knows what their EMOD is, it's basically kind of it's like a credit score, but it's a score of your risk score. So if you've had a lot of claims with workers' comp, the industry gives you a score. And if you have a score above a 1.0, you're going to have to pay a surplus in premiums. So companies try to do everything that they can to have a mod of 1.0 or below. So they're getting, if they have it below 1.0, they're getting a discount on their workers' comp premiums. If it's above a 1.0, they're getting charged a surcharge. So that EMOD is very important, and it could be very expensive if it's over 1.0. I just signed up a company. I think they do like the polls um, for like telecommunications, very high. I think their EMOD is like 1.40. They were getting ready to lose contracts because their score was so high that we were able to get them at a 1.0 under a PEO. So that way they wouldn't lose any of their contracts that they had with their clients. Another really good benefit about the workers' comp premium with a PEO, it's pay as you go. So I don't know if any of you remember having a business, or if you currently have a business and you have payroll today, you're having to estimate your payroll wages. When you're with the PEO, and then at the end of the year, you'll have an audit and you'll either owe money or you'll get money back. When you're with the PEO, it's pay as you go. There's no money down. You don't have to pay a deposit. And then there's no audits at the end of the year because the premiums are being paid as your payroll is being processed. So it really streamlines cash flow quite a bit for those higher risk workers' comp type industries. And why partner with myself? Well, I like the introduction. I've have over over 2 decades in the PEO industry. I've worked for several different PEO companies, privately held PEO companies, very large publicly traded companies. Many, many years ago, starting my career in ADP, very good company. I just felt like when you're working for those companies, they're looking for clients to fit in their box, and not every client is going to fit in their box. So October 22nd, I've completed my 4th year in business for myself as an independent PEO broker. So I'm non-captive to a PEO. I can shop multiple PEO companies. So I'm PEO agnostic, and the client, I don't have any boxes. We'll find a solution. We'll be very creative. Or if the company's outgrown the PEO, maybe we'll take a look at leaving the PEO altogether. But I'm able to give more choices, better options. I'm very knowledgeable about a lot of the companies, a lot of the things that are going on. I can give individual attention, ongoing relationship. So I am with the client the life cycle of the relationship when they sign up with the PEO. So I have a relationship with the PEO companies. I have access most of the time to their leadership team, and they look at me as not just getting one client, but getting multiple clients. So typically I can get higher level of service, or if issues do arise, I can get things escalated a lot quicker for my clients. Who are the best clients? I would say companies that have 10 plus employees. They're typically growing. They're typically have employees in multiple states. They're typically offering benefits currently, and they're typically paying a high contribution towards their benefits. Oftentimes, the companies that we work with, or that I work with, they really care about their employees and really want to do the right thing when it comes to HR. Um, and being really proactive with their HR infrastructure. And that's pretty much it. I thought I would just make it pretty short and simple. This is my contact information. I'll definitely send um, this out to everybody, or I'll send it out to Howard, and then he can send it out to everybody. But if there's any slides that you want me to go back to, I'm happy to answer any questions at all.
Well, when I had my company, I was it. So I was a manufacturer's rep.
Uh-huh.
So I was a manufacturer's rep, and then I'd been working for manufacturers. So I really didn't have any
Employees.
employees.
Mm-hmm.
So
Has anybody had any W-2 employees?
Not at the
No,
moment.
no. So whenever you do get to the point, because oftentimes what'll end up happening, do you have 1099 contractors?
So,
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sometimes companies will work with, have their 1099 contractors help them, and then you just pay them and you don't have to pay any taxes. Once you have to turn them into W-2 employees, you're going to have to pay, federal taxes, state unemployment taxes, workers' comp premiums. It's a lot of employer burden and liability on the employers that the employers have to pay. And depending on each state, and a lot of those heavy compliance states, it adds an additional layer of burden on the employers. So it's really good if they do have employees and there are in multiple states, especially those high compliance states. They should definitely look at partnering with the PEO company. I know since you guys don't have any employees and you guys don't have any contractors, I'm sure hopefully this was still some good information for you if you ever do grow your businesses and get W-2 employees, or if you ever talk to, your friends or people that you might know that, are growing or have businesses and you hear them say, oh gosh, the cost of healthcare premiums are going sky high. Oh, wait a minute. I might have a lady that might be able to help you.
oh yeah, this is great information. I have some questions, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So the first one was, what would be the funnest part of your job, of your
The
whole career so far? What would be a fun area you would like to highlight?
what would be the funnest part of my job? Well, I get to meet a lot of great people and I get to learn a lot about their businesses and how they got started. Um, and I always say, especially now that I'm off on my own, I only want to work with nice people. I mean, not all money is good money. And if they're jerks, I prefer not to work with them. I,
That's
and I
good.
could,
That's good.
I could do that. I can walk away if I need to.
All right. The second question was, if someone wants to pursue what you're doing, what kind of advice would you give them to start out?
Well, um, if you're looking at pursuing a PEO, you typically are going to need at least a minimum of 5+ employees, W-2 employees. If you just have like one or two and you have received a lot of capital and you know that you're going to be growing like really quickly and you need to put something in place, then we can possibly take a look at it. But typically it's those that have 5+ employees, 10+ employees, and they're growing. The best way is to go to my website at PEO for the CEO or email me at Susanna at PEO for the CEO. I can have a high level conversation because sometimes companies are not quite ready to pull the plug on PEO yet, but I can kind of let them know what are some key things to consider when they're ready to pull the trigger and go full PEO. Because if they just go with a payroll company, just like an ADP or a Paychex, just their payroll division, the fees are going to be so much less for them versus going with the PEO. The PEO fees are going to be a lot more than your payroll fees. So maybe they're not ready to pay those additional fees. What I end up seeing is by the time they're offering health insurance and they're paying workers' comp premiums, I can typically get an offset savings on the health insurance and the workers' comp to offset any of the higher administrative fees. So then at the end of the day, we might be more of a savings or a net even, or maybe even a small investment. But if somebody's just looking for payroll only, PEO probably is not going to be the
Turn
best
the
fit.
light on.
I'm sorry?
Turn the light on.
Oh,
Oh,
if you talking to David. But yeah, that was
oh,
a great response. Thank you very much for that. Anyone
uh-huh.
else have any questions?
We have a guest on. Her name is Jess, and she's just moved to the United States. And she had left a message for Susanna in the message box. So
Okay, well, how do I get to the message box?
where it says
Thanks for
chat,
that.
Oh,
Sorry.
there it is.
I
There it
was
is. For some
I was
reason,
just saying
yeah,
thank
yeah,
you, Susanna, for your
yeah.
presentation. I just look found it on the Rotary's Facebook page and thought I would join in. It's probably not quite for me yet. I'm sort of a one person operating a new not-for-profit. So I think as we scale, it might be something that becomes useful to us. But at the minute, yeah, there's no real need. But I just wanted to say thank you for the presentation and not just sit here
Yeah,
quietly.
absolutely. I work a lot with a lot of nonprofits, and unfortunately, right now, a lot of them are having to downsize. So it's not good news. But when they are with a PEO company, they're able to work with that HR consultant to really dot their I's and cross their T's as they have to, let people go and to downsize to make sure that they're doing it the correct way. So not good news, but at least they
Yeah, I
got some
appreciate that.
support.
No, it's
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else have any questions? All right, well, I will take control again.
Well, I would like to talk to Jess. Jess, are you still here?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm here in Irving also, and so if sometimes we want to get together, if you're interested in Rotary, I'd be glad to talk to you.
Thank you. That'd be fantastic. I would definitely like to reach out.
Okay, I've been in Irving. I've been in Rotary for 35 years. So, let me put my contact information in the chat, and you can call me.
All right, so before we do
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
All right, so before we do our four-way test, I would like to give the floor to any guests who would like to introduce themselves, because we do have a new guest. Ms. Jess, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. That would be amazing. Thank you. So yes, my name is Jess. I'm working for an organization called Smart Aid. We provide humanitarian aid in times of natural disaster and conflict. So right now we're working with our implementation partners for Jamaica to help with the Hurricane Melissa that's currently impacting. And our speciality is actually bringing technology. So we work with partners to implement things like solar microgrids, bring clean energy, to bring connectivity directly to those folks that are impacted by disaster as quickly as we possibly can. You can probably tell by the accent, I'm not an my family and I have just relocated from Sydney, Australia. And that's specifically for me to set up the office here.
What part of Australia?
We've just moved from Sydney.
Sydney? Okay.
You know folks down there?
I've been to Australia 9 times.
Oh, fantastic.
So I'd love to talk to you.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
I
And
put
thank
my
you for the
phone number
introduction,
in the
Chris.
chat.
I'm so sorry. What was your first name? I've got the number.
Linda. I'm Linda.
Thank you, Linda.
Uh-huh.
All right, is there any other guests that we missed, or anyone have any other announcements they would like to make before we do our four-way test? All right. Well, thank you again, Ms. Susanna. It was
Thank you.
great seeing your presentation. So we're about to close out, but before we do, would y'all like to join me in doing the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do? First, is it the truth? Second, is it
Fair to all concerned.
Third, will it be
Build goodwill and
Better
friendship.
friendship.
Fourth,
Will it
Be
be
beneficial to all concerned.
And 5,
Will it be fun? Most important.
I would like to thank everyone for coming out. If you have any questions or any additional comments, please leave them in the chat box, and I'll see you next time.
Have a
Bye.
great
Thank
week.
you, guys.
Y'all
Thank
take
you.
care.
Thank you. Bye.